Hello. A lovely day, another beautiful day. It is 22nd, I think, of April, a Wednesday. So you do the math. 2020. Thank you for taking my advice of my last video and not liking or subscribing. I did get some feedback from a friend of mine who sent me a picture of 10 hours of paint drying, so I'm hoping that this video is going to be equally successful. Planting courgettes today. Just picked up some courgettes from a friend of mine who was kind enough to give me some excess. So hopefully these are going to be pretty fruitful. I'm just going to whack them in the ground. As I said before, don't like or subscribe. It's a waste of your time. I doubt many people would watch this anyway. They've probably got halfway through it and listened to my monotone drone, and will really have no interest in watching a man planting courgettes in a ground. I hope that is definitely the case, because it will be a complete waste of your time to keep coming back here for more of the same drivel. But it's nice really, isn't it? Just sitting in the sunshine. I mean, I should be working, should be doing a day job, but there's no work anymore. So we do some digging instead. So what do I have to say? Not really, don't have really that much to say even. It's all quite boring from my perspective. Planted out some stuff in the greenhouse this morning, planted out my tomatoes and my aubergines, and I've got some chicken pecked gherkins and cucumber to go in, but as I say, the chicken decided to have a bit of an attack of them and they need to get a bit more hardy, so they're going into the greenhouse just to get acclimatized firstly, and I'll be putting them in due course. So courgettes, I understand they need a good square metre of space for them to kind of grow and to flower. Usually the ones I've grown before need a little bit longer than that. I've given them more space, but space is at a premium at the moment for me on the old allotment. I am bringing on some more beds, but initially, at least, I need to be careful with how I'm spacing stuff out. I don't want to give things too much space to the detriment of being able to plant other things, but also you need to allow things to grow. So got my sweet corn in, which is having some moderate success. Get these courgettes in. I've got some Brussels sprouts over there, some last year's leeks that are being used sporadically. Got me early potatoes coming up now in the plot over there, and I've got some lovely rows of onions all coming up and looking pretty good, pretty strong, pretty healthy. Broad beans in. I've got a few wildflowers growing, a rhubarb that I inherited when I took on this allotment plot. That's coming up beautifully. I've had a few sticks off that already and it tastes really good. The best rhubarb I've ever tasted. I've got strawberries in, I've got raspberries growing to varying degrees. So yeah, there's plenty of stuff going on. Brussels sprouts went in. Again, plants that I got from somebody else, so that's nice. That's a good thing about this sort of thing, allotmenting. is that you know, people take an interest in what you're doing. You can give them your excess if you have any, and they can give you their excess, and it's kind of quite a nice reciprocal way of doing things. So yeah, I just got to decide where I'm going to put the next courgette in. Okay, so the second courgette's going to go in. It's actually just two beds away from the first one that I put in. I'm a little bit reticent to do this, to be honest, because this is where I had courgettes last year, and apparently the correct thing to do is to rotate your crops from bed to bed, so you don't have the same crops in the same places you did last year. It's very stony ground here, but there we go. I'm a maverick. I'm just going to wing it and see if it makes any difference. I suspect it probably won't, but I'm not going to make a habit of just planting things in the same place all the time. Next year it'll be a bit different. I'll have to think about it a bit more, but to be honest, this has taken me about 4 years to get to the condition it's in. When I took it on, it was very overgrown like the rest of the sites on this allotment. Nobody seems that bothered about coming out and doing their bit. There are some good people on here doing some good stuff, but generally speaking, the interest in taking on allotments has waned somewhat. I remember when I first took on allotment, I guess it must have been 10 years ago now, it was quite the fashion, but that fashion seems to have died off somewhat, which is fine by me because it means I can come out here when it's nice and quiet and not be bothered by other people. That is to say that when there are other people out here who are all doing the same thing, it's actually quite nice. It feels like you're part of a community. Anyway, so there, that one's in. I'm going to pour a bit of water on the both, and yeah, I think we'll leave it there for now. Don't subscribe. Go out, go and do something useful with your life. YouTube is a waste of time. It's a waste of time, me even making this video, but I'm just trying to show you that you could perhaps be doing something more fruitful than sitting watching this old nonsense.